How do you install Kubernetes on Proxmox? Proxmox is a self-hosted open source virtualization platform. It's a great way to run your own servers and services on consumer or enterprise grade hardware. It's some cool tech. Kubernetes, often abbreviated to K8, is an open source platform for automating deployment, scaling, and management of containers. It helps organizations manage applications that run inside of containers, like Docker images, across clusters of computers, providing features such as load balancing, self-healing, service discovery, and rolling updates. It is also some cool technology. Kubernetes was a Google project that they released to the public, and eventually it grew to the Kubernetes that we know today. So wouldn't it be nice if you could run your cool stuff on top of your cool stuff? Well, Kubernetes lets you do that. So what do you actually need for you to follow along with this video? Well, for one, you would need Proxmox installed. For two, you will need a Debian ISO for us to get Debian installed. 3, time. This should take about 10 to 15 minutes. And last but not least, for number 4, you are going to need enough compute. Thankfully, both Proxmox and Kubernetes are open source, so you don't have to pay for licensing or anything. You just get it installed and start playing around. We're back over on my Proxmox cluster, and what we're going to do is go ahead and download our Debian ISO in order to start this process. So that we're technically on step 2 here. Step 1 has Proxmox installed, which I've already done. And if you need assistance with step 1, please go ahead and check out my other videos where I walk you through how to install Proxmox either in the cloud or on like a laptop or something. For step 2, you go to Google and you just search for Debian ISO. You click Debian ISO from the menu. You click 64-bit net install. Then you right click, copy link, and go back to your Proxmox. On your Proxmox server, you'll choose one of your data stores, select ISO image, select download from URL, and then download the latest Debian net install ISO. We're going to give this a few minutes to download and come back when it's done. Once your virtual machine is done being created, you'll be met with this screen. We're just going to walk through the graphical install of Debian real quick. Then we give this a second and it should start booting up. After that, we choose English, United States. For our keyboard, we'll choose American English, continue. And then we give it a few minutes for it to process the install. And then you'll get presented with the screen for you to enter a host name. We'll call this Dave Kubernetes. Hit continue. For our domain, we're going to do test.local. We enter test.local for our domain. For the password, we'll go ahead and we'll enter the root password. And then for our username, we'll enter our name. And we hit continue. We'll enter a password for the account we just created. And my suggestion would be to go ahead and make that account an administrator when prompted. We then choose our time zone. We then choose our disk we want to install on and hit continue. It's basically asking us if we want to write that disk. And then we confirm and we give it another minute or two for it to finish this process and finish the install. I'm waiting a few minutes and it looks like it took longer than 1 minute. So give it about 5 to 10 minutes. I'm waiting a few minutes and it looks like it took longer than 1 minute. So give it about 5 to 10 minutes. When it's done installing, it's going to ask you to choose your Debian archive mirror. Just hit continue, continue, and then give it a few minutes for it to find your Debian archive and run any necessary updates. We are going to then install our services. In my case, you're going to need the SSH server, but you're not going to need GNOME or a desktop environment. Then we're also going to choose standard system utilities and hit continue. And then we let that install. Then we just walk through the grub install process, hit continue, 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 and let grub install. We then wait for it to finish rebooting, like it's doing right now. And then after it's done rebooting, we'll go ahead and proceed with the Kubernetes install from console. So we're done, and we now have our Kubernetes server spun up. Let's go ahead and log in and get Kubernetes installed. The first thing you're going to want to do is run an apt-get update-y and an apt-get upgrade-y. What that will do is get the latest packages for you. Once Kubernetes is installed, we want to get some dependencies installed as well. We're going to do that with an apt-get install-y sudo transport https ca certificates curl and GNU-PG. And we'll give that a few minutes to install. I went ahead and started an SSH session to make things a little easier to see for you. After we have installed our dependencies, we're then going to want to use the curl command to download the latest keyring for Kubernetes apt repo. I'm going to paste the Kubernetes article I'm using to do this install at the bottom of this YouTube video. Once we've curled the keyring, we added and set permissions on it. We can then add the Kubernetes repo to our apt sources. And then after that, we set permissions on our kubernetes.list file. We can then run an apt-get update. And if everything was successful, it should update without any issues. And then after that, we can do apt-get install -y kubectl. And then we give that another couple minutes to install. We then have to verify kubectl is installed. How do we do that? We can do kubectl version -client. As you can see, Kubernetes is now installed. We're going to do a kubectl cluster info. It gives us some basic errors. So it's telling us Kubernetes is installed, but its configuration has not been set up yet because it's giving us these API errors. And that's it, boys. That is how you install Kubernetes on Proxmox. We just went through the most basic of installations. We still have to get it configured, which is for another video, right? And we're also going to do a long form video where we do basically the same thing, but in Azure, right? We'll be getting Kubernetes spun up in Azure, but it's not quite so simple. You don't just spin up a virtual machine and get it installed in Azure. I mean, you could, but that would not be the best use of cloud and cloud infrastructure. If you enjoy this content, please go ahead and hit the like button. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe either here on YouTube or at my TikTok channel, where I do short form content and jokes and memes, and we have a vibe over there. It's a good time. Check out my TikTok. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Stay blessed, boys. I'll see y'all in the next video where we go through configuring Kubernetes and getting your first basic cluster spun up, and then doing the same thing again, but in Azure.